Lumos. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Shell Cottage Radio. I am your host and your secret keeper, Ezra, a.k.a. Bill. Also known as Sir Ezra, the Watchful History of Magic Professor, the Flannel Wizard, obviously. Yours truly, me. Please welcome your lovely design witch, the fascination of this year, Triwizard champion herself, my wonderful co-host, and yours, Lottie, a.k.a. Fleur.
He's really bringing the energy this Monday afternoon.
Yeah, baby!
Hallo und einen wunderschönen guten Tag. It's so good to have you back in our beautiful little cottage on the outskirts of Tinworth. Kommt rein und macht's euch gemütlich. Welcome to episode 101, in which we discuss Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This week we'll talk about chapter 19, the Hungarian Horntail. We'll give you a quick life update with our homemade cottage ketchup, feed our brains with important trivia knowledge, and then dive head on into our amazing chapter summary exportio experience.
What was that? What was that?
Why do I always I can't say these
That
words.
was like your mouth was glued together, you know? I think leave it in. I think we roll with it. I think everyone understood what you said.
Yeah, I think they all know. I know. Unless this is your first episode, welcome, guys.
Welcome.
I don't always do this, but...
Welcome. We have energy today. Welcome to our Shell Cottage Radio. Okay. Where do you think, by the way, just imaginary for a second, we're in our Shell Cottage. Where do we do we have a dish on top of the cottage that is just like broadcasting, or like an antenna that's on top is just broadcasting our signal?
Actually, our first logo did have that.
That's right.
Remember that?
That's right.
Our first podcasting logo had the little Shell Cottage roof and then a little antenna coming out of it.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's just cool to kind of think about. You know, you got all the equipment, the wires are running out to the antenna, it's broadcasting, sending out the signal.
Yeah, like back in the day when you had a radio instead of podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know, you had to have a special device. I mean, now you have to have a special device to podcast.
Dang.
But still.
You know what, though? Like people, when you did the radio show, it's literally happening live that moment.
Right. You
You're
can't
on
record
at 5
it.
o'clock. Yeah. But, there's no edits, right?
No.
I mean, that's my kind of show right there. Like,
let's do it.
Let's just roll with it, okay? Anyway, where are we at in the dock? Is there a dock? I have a dock.
Transition into cottage ketchup, and there's nothing.
Let me tell you what's going on. Let me tell you, okay, I think a lot of times people forget. First of all, happy Monday to everyone out there. I know it's probably Wednesday or Thursday when you're listening to this live, but it's Monday for us, and so we brought the energy for you. Have you looked outside recently? Have you noticed that the leaves are changing color, that the temperature is dropping a little bit, that fall is actually here, my friends? We are in October. It is October 7th when we're recording this, 2024, my friends.
People in Australia are like,
oh, what?
It's hot. It's summer.
What are you guys talking about? We just well, sorry, it's fall for us, okay?
Yes,
and
it's beautiful. You said it. It's your season. You're the flannel wizard.
This is my time. This is my time. There are people walking around like, hey, I don't know, man. I really wish Ez was doing this, or I really wish Ez would come hang out over here and do this. Listen to me right now. All of the power that I can conjure comes to me during the fall. So I will do what I want to do, okay? Y'all come along or get out of my way. I will literally hold my flannel staff forward and I will conjure from the trees a bunch of leaves. I will bury you in a leaf pile, okay? That's the kind of power I have. Like, what are the Flannel Wizard's powers? That's one of them right there.
Love it.
I should write them down, like come up with a list of powers that I have as the Flannel Wizard. Maybe you guys could help me with that, because I'm thinking like some of them have to involve obviously some sort of festive drink or, you know, some pumpkin stuff. Maybe I have the ability to do, I don't know. Like I feel like I should have some fall magical powers.
Yes. Beware, he's going to cover you in leaves.
Yes. Beware, you shall be covered in leaves.
Actually, that's so fun. As a kid, we used to always jump into like the big leaf piles.
Yeah.
And you can see dogs love to do that
they
too
love
for
it.
some reason. It's so funny.
Yeah, actually, my sister's house has a huge tree right in her backyard.
Yes.
Tons of leaves there. It's just like a single tree, right? So it's not like, it can be kind of ridiculous if you live near the edge of a forest. But the back of my dad's house,
I know.
it's just like
Tons of trees. Yeah.
we don't even worry about it. We don't rake those. Like that's just all natural. Sorry.
All nature. We'll take care of it.
Right. So, but in my sister's, they make a big leaf pile, and the kids just run and jump and dive into it. It's awesome. Yeah, it was great. It's actually how I learned how to tackle in football.
Really?
Yeah. So when you have to get used to like falling and diving and jumping and stuff. So it's kind of a fun time to do that. And I had an old neighborhood friend, lived right across the road, and he came over and we used to play football against one another. Like I would punt the ball to him, he would catch it and grab it, and he'd try to run past me, and I would tackle him.
That's awesome.
And then same thing back and forth. It was a blast.
That sounds so fun. Did you know that some people actually travel to? It's tourism. Like we travel to tropical rainforests to see that terrain because we're not used to it, and it's so different for us. People from those regions where they don't really have the change of seasons, or they go sometimes they go right from summer to winter. There's no real like fall, autumn, how we know it.
Yeah.
They come here and just to see.
They love
the trees change, and that's one of the most, I get it. Like,
it's beautiful.
I could not, and I think we've said that on the podcast before, but I don't think I could live in a only summer, always warm, one day climate.
Right.
Where it changes throughout the day, but not throughout the year.
I love it. I love the change of seasons. I really do. I'm already, I'm so excited because we're in October. So we have Halloween, we have all the festive stuff. We're watching Twilight every night. Okay, it's what we do. We're also putting Potter on at the same time. Then we also we'll be able to go into Thanksgiving, right? Which is awesome. I mean, I feel like your German friends would be like, I almost wish they could all come experience like in October, November, December.
Yeah.
Y'all think you party over there? Listen. We are celebrating we're celebrating different things.
Well,
we're just in general partying.
First, we're celebrating the first pumpkin spice latte, okay?
That's right.
Of the year in September when school starts.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It goes all the way back to then. So, it's wild. I mean, I love the fall. It's just my favorite time. Football's on, and I'm just, my team's losing right now. The Bengals are just, oh boy, what's going on?
But the Buckeyes are doing well.
Buckeyes are doing good, so we're going to be okay. But, I just love it. I really, really enjoy this time, and I have fond memories of, like, I used to go out to my Aunt Rita's, and she always hosted this little, like, hay wagon ride and all this kind of stuff, and they had the spooky barn that they decked out. My grandma was there. She made all sorts of candy, homemade candy, and yummy stuff. It was crazy. It's just a good time, And I think I'm thinking about this more because in this chapter we go to Hogsmeade, and it just is such a good time over there.
It is. I was actually going to ask you, what do you think Harry's favorite season was?
Oh, it's got to be fall.
I think so too, because every year except for this year, like going back to Hogwarts was always a blast for him.
Yeah.
And not worrying about anything. I mean, last year, they had the worries about Sirius going on, but I don't know. I feel like the troubles are always at the end of the year. First, even if you don't expect anything to happen with Voldemort at the end of the year, you still have the exams coming up, and he always dreads the summer. For him, it's not a fun time to go back in the summer. Yeah. So I think for him, the more time he still has at school is the best. So I think it's fall time. It
makes you think, people argue that this series is a Christmas series or that Harry Potter, certain movies are Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And I do feel like that first year he was at Hogwarts, that was peak. Christmas was like the peak moment for him, right?
Yes,
everything had built up to like, okay, I get to stay here all by myself, the castle to myself. Presents are coming in. My dad's old cloak, which is going to be important in this chapter today.
True. Very important.
Man, that was really, I think that it makes sense why that first movie does feel like that's the ultimate pinnacle point in the first bookend movie is Christmas time.
It is.
But then, all the fall stuff leading into it, really memorable things going down. I love it. So
yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Other things that are going on in the cottage. Really just getting through, heading to school, doing our thing, and I think I don't know. Is there anything? I just did finish Rings of Power. So
yes,
for anybody who is interested in, it's a little negative. I will go ahead and say that it's actually a little bit of a rant fest. And so I apologize for folks who are like, man, I really like a positive conversation. As I really like when you're focused on the good things and you're laughing and having a good time. I was laughing on that show quite a bit, but maybe for the wrong reasons. But it was still a good time, and I actually really enjoyed covering it. And I've been diving deeper into Tolkien. And so I wanted to kind of, anywhere I can, I like to just bring up some Tolkien stuff. This is a juicy looking book here.
It looks great.
It looks so good. It's the Fall of Numenor.
It looks like it wants to be picked up in the fall and just be read.
And just read with a cup of coffee and just sit there and let the wind and the breeze blow some leaves across your face. Just bury you. Just bury you in the leaf. I mean, sorry, I keep thinking about leaf piles and me with the power to bury people with leaves. It's just, and the wizard, I'm holding like a book where actually there really should be no wizards in this book, and there's really not. Yeah. And so there is a wizard in our show, which is kind of like...
There's multiple wizards in the show.
Multiple wizards in that show, which is kind of one of my gripes. But I actually don't mind it because I'm a wizard myself, and I love wizards. So bring it on, Blue wizards, gray wizards, white wizards, Gandalf, not Gandalf, don't know, not going to say. But anyway, Rings of Power, up talking Tolkien, my good buddy Lane and I, covering the show, been doing it for 8 weeks now. It's been crazy. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm burnt out a little bit from all of that. So...
It's a lot of podcasting you had to do over the last couple of weeks,
Nobody probably imagines that we're recording at 4:16 on a Monday afternoon.
Nope.
But this has been great though. I still have good energy. I feel like sometimes we go to record and I'm like, whoo. And it's typically after I've done stuff like that. Like when I go 8 weeks where we're podcasting almost 2 times a week. Yeah. It's a lot.
It is.
And we actually were doing like a weekly Patreon drop for that. It was
You were working your butts off.
Insane.
That's funny. I thought about it the other day when I was watching A Discovery of Witches. Okay, the show. Yeah. And it's the same some scenes are just so corny and don't make sense, and all of a sudden if you get into the headspace, I think in almost every show you can find, I know there's shows that do a really, really good job at, I remember that one YouTuber describing different battles, how they're structured and how they make sense for the viewer or how they don't make sense for the viewer. And he compared, one of the newer battles in Rings of Power to an old battle like the one...
Helm's Deep.
Yes.
Yeah, so you had the Sack of Eregion and then the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Yes, and how different it was and how much better the other one felt, for the viewer. And I thought, well, if I get also people who just watch it to enjoy it, and they realize, okay, this doesn't make sense. Yeah. And yes, maybe there's better viewing experiences, but they're just happy to get some more Tolkien, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And this, with The Discovery of Witches, I've never read the books. I don't know if you people have read it. Is it a good series? Do you recommend reading the books? Because, we as Harry Potter fans, we always recommend people, don't just watch the movies. You have to read the books. It's the one thing we preach. The books are so much better. Would you say the books of A Discovery of Witches is also a lot better? Please let me know, because then I'll read it. Because I actually like the show, but some scenes or some things just don't seem to make sense here and there. And I still can watch it and enjoy it and love catching up on, the latest episodes. So
yeah. It seems cool. It's a 2011 series. And
okay, it's a little older than I thought.
Yeah, and so you had said that you've been watching it. Let's see, it was the first installment, All Souls trilogy. So it's a trilogy, 3 books. Okay. 3 books.
Is it like a Game of Thrones? They just call the whole show Game of Thrones, even though it's just one book.
Probably.
Something like that.
Yeah, probably, I'm guessing. But okay. Anyway, it looks really neat, though. And, they definitely just finished up the 3rd season there. So, yeah, if you guys have read it, let us know.
Yeah, reach out to us and let us know if it's worth reading.
Because I liked it so far. I was like, oh, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like the plot. Yep. Yeah. I like the fun characters and just interesting world. So yeah. It's always cool to see, different kinds of vampires. Yeah. And it's all together. Vampires, witches, demons. I love it.
Right. No, it is really cool. They have this little council, and you're sort of like, okay, who's getting booted this week, or what's happening? Who's are they coming after? It's just crazy. Yeah. And there's some time travel stuff in it too.
There is.
Cool. So time turners, guys.
But you know what?
Crazy.
Time turners. We're getting back to that. But you know what? The one thing we have not seen in that show.
What?
Dragons.
Dragons.
And this leads me to my first question of trivia training this week.
Oh, please give it to me.
My question for you is, you can't look this up, okay?
I'm not.
You can't
What are you
pull it
talking
up.
about?
Are you researching a question right now?
No.
No, you don't research it yet before I have asked my question, because what if
listen.
it's the same?
I'm telling you right now, I am ready to go.
Okay.
I will
Which
listen.
champion, tell me, which champion gets which dragon in the first task? And I will be so kind and tell you all 4 dragons again.
But listen to me. Hold on. That wasn't in this chapter.
I didn't say it was about the chapter.
Oh, so next week's chapter. Okay.
So we have the Hungarian Horntail. We have the Chinese Fireball.
Mhm.
We have the common Welsh Green.
Uh-huh.
We have the Swedish Short Snout.
Yeah. You
So
ready? Yeah, Okay.
which champion gets
Hungarian Horntail, Harry Potter.
which? Ding, ding, ding.
Chinese Fireball, Victor Crumb.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Actually, giving you feedback already helps you, but it's okay.
What? I mean, that was some two
Yes.
for 2 right now. The Green Welsh was Fleur Delacour. Dun, da, da, da.
Wow.
Which means that
You are correct.
what is the other one again? Hold on. It is the short snout. Something.
Swedish Short Snout.
Short snout. Yes, Swedish. That is Cedric Diggory's.
Good job. Nice.
Yeah.
You didn't look that up, promise.
I got it right here in front of me. I'm reading it off my phone and nailed that one.
Which one would you have liked
I think
to battle, to get past? I'm not
to
really
get
bad.
past. Well, I think the one I just like the most is I think the idea of a green dragon.
Right, the common Welsh Green.
Yeah, I
Sounds
think that's
cool.
really cool. And I always think of the green dragon in like Tolkien, and I think of
Yeah.
the little inn there. And did they actually have a green dragon? Is it a good dragon? Are dragons all bad in like? You know, I'm thinking in Tolkien's universe
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
You got Smaug, and you think
Right,
of him
you
being
only
really
know the bad dragon. Yeah.
Right. So,
I would like to see the Chinese Fireball too, and it's to me it makes sense that Victor Crumb has the Fireball. I don't know, because it sounds like Firebolt.
Oh yeah, sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So, oh, is it my turn for a question?
Already? Or do you need me to talk a little bit about dragons a little longer?
No, I got this right here. I'm gonna tell you right now. I got this. Okay, you ready for this?
You got a point. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. All right.
I'm not forgetting your
Dun, da, da, dun.
19.
Okay. You ready for this?
Mhm.
This is a tough one. Oh,
I
wait
bet.
a second. If I say it's just like can I remember it? What animal did Pansy Parkinson? Is that her name? Pansy Parkinson.
Yeah.
What animal did she compare Hermione Granger to in this chapter?
I remember that.
You do?
Yeah.
What?
A chipmunk.
Okay, chipmunk.
I remember that
Man,
because
it's too easy.
We were laughing too hard about her joke.
What was the other one?
Which was actually not funny.
Yeah, we'll get there. It is
The
funny.
Slytherin
I'm
jokes.
sorry. I'm done with the whole peas being, politically correct. You can't laugh at that as. You
The
can't.
chipmunks are actually cute. She couldn't find a better animal or a worse animal than chipmunks.
Yeah, I know that was actually kind of lame on her part, but
yeah, it was.
I just it's not the insult that I laugh at. It's really
Yeah.
just their attempt. It's just
I
the fact
know.
that these kids are like, I don't know. It's sort of like okay, like they said you're pretty. Oh, really? Yeah,
Compared to what? A chipmunk?
Compared to what, dude? Huh? That's how Pansy talks.
Pansy. What kind of name is Pansy?
I don't know.
What if someone's called Pansy?
Oh, I
That's
can't believe you
listening
said
to us?
that.
Oh my god.
What if one of our listeners is like,
Sorry.
I'm Pansy?
Sorry, Pansy.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
actually a cute name. I just thought of pants and pansy.
Yeah,
Pansy.
yeah.
Pansy?
Isn't it funny? It's funny though. Sometimes you're like,
Oh my
I don't know.
gosh. Yeah, you can't say that on a podcast.
it's. There's a comedian who I love who like he'll say something. He's just like he'll bash Mondays, right? He'll be like Mondays are blah 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 blah. Mondays are garbage, right? And then he does this different voice where he changes to an audience member. Hey, buddy, I really like Mondays.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Mondays like that. Because he's like, there's always somebody
Yes,
who either
of
has
course.
that name, likes that
And
thing.
I usually don't
or-
do that, actually.
Yeah, I know, but
Because
I
I
thought it
do
was funny.
think everyone could like whatever they want to like.
It's also okay to say, like, man, I really don't think I would name my child Pansy. You know?
That is
I don't
okay.
know.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay,
it's
roll the dice.
Rolling it, I got
Purple.
Dumbledore's favorite color.
What do Harry and Dumbledore find in the cave that they suspect is a Horcrux?
They find a locket.
A locket. That
Is-
is correct.
Is it more specific?
No, it's just says a locket.
Wow. Okay.
So one of the easier questions.
Okay. Wow. They don't even specify. I'm
No,
not
they
going
don't
to.
even ask.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
It's orange. It was. I promise.
All right. Here we go. In which spell book does Harry find a handwritten note that says, "This book is the property of the Half-Blood Prince"?
Well, it was the potions book, but I don't know if there's a specific
I want the exact name and
name.
title.
It was... homebrew potion making. What is it?
What is it?
It's the Half-Blood Prince's book of the copy of
Can't you see the
potion
cover?
making.
Can't you see the cover right? Just boom. Look at the cover. You see it in your mind. And it says it right there. It says, yep, fill in the blank.
A young potioneer's
I need a final answer.
potions.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final
The
answer.
perfect potion.
It is just advanced potion making.
Ah! Darn
It's just
it.
advanced potion making. Here, I thought that'd be an easy
Fail.
question. Sorry. I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see the cover. It says
That's
advanced.
okay. You have to catch up. So you got 20 to 20.5. I'm
Okay.
still in the lead by half a point, buddy.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You're my buddy.
Hey, thanks, bud. Thanks, buddy. All right. Well, friends, hey, with that, we are into the chapter reread.
Chapter 19, The Hungarian Horntail. While the initial shock of having been chosen as champion has slowly worn off, Harry is now consumed with waves of panic. He grapples with the overwhelming fear and pressure of the upcoming first task. He has no idea what he'll be facing in the task, which makes it impossible for him to concentrate on classes or talk about it, even with Hermione. Harry misses Ron, and it's clear that Ron misses him too, but neither of them is willing to apologize, leaving their friendship in a frustrating standstill. To make matters worse, Rita Skeeter's sensationalized article about Harry appears in the Daily Prophet, portraying him as a tragic hero who still cries over his parents at night. This humiliating piece only seems to fuel the belief that Harry is seeking attention, especially in Ron's eyes. During their detention together, Harry had hoped they might patch things up. But after seeing the article, Ron is as cold as ever towards him, and the two sit in silence through 2 hours of pickling rat brains in Snape's dungeon together. Feeling isolated and increasingly anxious, Harry's emotions start to get the better of him. He mistakenly snaps at Cho Chang, thinking she was mocking him when she was simply trying to return his quill. Despite everything, Hermione continues to stand by him, helping him practice the summoning charm in the library, even though Harry struggles with it. They can't help but notice Victor Crumb is also there frequently, always shadowed by a group of giggling girls, much to Hermione's annoyance. As the first task is only a few days away, Harry drowns in dread. When Hermione suggests a trip to Hogsmeade on Saturday for a change of scenery, Harry agrees but insists on wearing his invisibility cloak to avoid further attention or to possibly run into Ron. Once in Hogsmeade, they spot Rita Skeeter in the village, likely sticking around to cover the first task. Harry and Hermione manage to find a quiet table at the Three Broomsticks, where Harry has to watch the other students, including Ron, from the safety of his invisibility cloak. His gaze is wandering over the happy and excited crowd of students. He imagines an alternate reality where he's one of them, just a normal kid, watching the tournament from the ranks with everybody else rather than competing in it. Hermione suddenly interrupts Harry in his thoughts to tell him that Hagrid's here too. He and Mad-Eye Moody are on the other side of the pub, talking. Somehow, despite Harry's cloak, Moody's magical eye detects him, and he points Hagrid towards their table. After exchanging pleasantries, Hagrid quietly whispers to Harry that he should come meet him at midnight down at his hut for something important. Though uncertain if this would interfere with his meeting with Sirius later, Harry decides to go down to Hagrid's at 11:30. Hagrid is beyond excited and leads him to the Beauxbatons carriage to pick up Madame Maxime. He warns Harry to stay hidden and just follow them in disguise. Harry tries to keep up with the two half-giants as they keep walking along the edge of the forest until the castle is out of sight. Soon Harry is distracted by noises coming from nearby, and then he sees them. Hagrid has brought him to see dragons. Massive fire-breathing creatures being restrained by a team of wizards, including Ron's older brother, Charlie. Charlie introduces the 4 different breeds, highlighting the Hungarian Horntail as the most dangerous. It's clear that the dragons will be used in the first task. Harry has seen and heard enough, especially after hearing from Charlie that Mrs. Weasley is worried sick about him. As Harry sneaks back to the castle, he accidentally bumps into Karkaroff, who seems to be snooping around the dragons. Karkaroff, unaware of Harry's presence, leaves after concluding he must have bumped into an animal. Harry rushes back to the Gryffindor common room, just in time to meet Sirius, whose head has appeared in the fireplace. Sirius is concerned about Harry and warns him to be cautious around Karkaroff, revealing that Durmstrang's headmaster was once a follower of Lord Voldemort, locked up in Azkaban. Sirius also mentions his fears that Voldemort might be growing more and more in power, and that someone at Hogwarts could be working to harm Harry. Before Sirius can give Harry advice on how to handle the dragon, however, their conversation is cut short when someone enters the room. It's Ron. Harry, angry and frustrated, lashes out at Ron, who seems equally confused and hurt. Their confrontation ends with Harry throwing a Potter's Stinks badge at Ron's face and storming off to bed, leaving their friendship even more strained.
Oh boy. And look, just when you thought that Harry didn't have enough going on, right? Mm-hmm. We just learned that there's dragons. The whole time we're thinking maybe Ron's going to come back. We need our guy. This is the hour where in which he will return, right? The return of our Weasley king. But no.
That's awesome.
But no, not yet, friends.
Not yet. You have to wait
a
little bit.
So.
Hagrid, what is wrong with me? Harry has to go through the anxiety himself for a little bit. And he even, he only has Hermione right now to confide in. Ron, like we said, still doesn't speak to him.
Yeah.
But he misses him terribly because it's different. Hermione, he loves Hermione for, who she is, but it's just not the same. It's not his buddy. It's not the jokester he needs right now.
Yeah, it's not the
at
same.
this hour.
It's not the same. Have you ever hung out? I think we've said this before. This has happened once before on this podcast, and I can't remember where, but it happens with this golden trio from time to time.
Yeah.
Where you have the trio, we're all good.
Yeah.
All 3 pieces need to be there for it to be solid. Mm-hmm. When one is gone, and you're hanging out with that other friend, and you're like, well, this is kind of awkward.
I know. Everyone knows. Everyone has experienced that before. Yeah. And it's, of course, not with Harry and Ron, because they're closer. They're both boys. They hang out in the same dormitory. Yeah. They are alone all the time. But when it's just Harry and Hermione, or we never get to see just Hermione and Ron.
Right.
We always wonder what happened during these hours where it was sometimes just them, right? Mm-hmm, and how their love story continued.
Yeah. I really think that Hermione misses Ron. She says that Harry...
I think so, too.
She says, Harry, I know you miss him, right? But I think she does herself because, again, she's had to be a little bit, not distant, but she's had to, separate her time. And it's like, she's the person who would be thinking, okay, it's more important because Harry is, clearly going through it right now, thinking about the first task, so I need to spend more time with him, be there for him. Ron's going to hate that. Ron's going to think something's up. Yeah. Oh, my God, what am I going to do? She's just torn, right? So,
but she's also the only friend Harry has right now, so I think she knows Ron can do on his own. He has his brothers. He has other, he's got
Seamus,
right? Dean Thomas.
Right.
Who he's not gonna like as much soon when he dates his sister.
Yeah.
But he has more people around him that he can just talk to, and Hermione is really being a good friend, hanging out more with Harry because she knows he needs her right now, but she also, I think, is aware of the fact that she's not Ron for him. And she wants them to get back together.
Yeah.
Desperately, because she can't stand. I mean, if you're a trio like that, it must be annoying.
Right. Yeah. He needs to loosen up. He's too tense. It's probably a part of the block that he has, right, for the summoning charm.
Right.
So the fact that it's not just, it's all of the anxiety, and one thing that could have probably broken that is maybe cutting loose with Ron a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
Because for some reason he's developed some sort of block, right? Hasn't he?
Yes, it says it in the chapter. However, I think it's a good thing here. He's a little bit annoyed that Hermione pushes him to really work hard on this summoning spell. And in the end, it proves to be a very good thing, right? That she really helps him with that charm. And we don't know if he really would have had as much trouble with it. Probably not, but you're right. It would probably. I mean, he seems to be pretty good at charms.
Yeah,
just medium good.
Medium good.
Medium good. Medium rare.
He's medium rare.
Just like he's doing. I think he's not struggling too hard. That's what I wanted to say.
No, yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But it's again, like we were saying, Ron's out, stress of the tournament, everyone hates me.
Extreme stress.
Yeah, Potter stinks, all those things. So
I mean, and anxiety. That's the thing. Like he's so scared, not knowing, what will await him, and being aware that he's the least educated wizard.
Yeah.
So the others all have more spells.
Yeah, just under their belt.
Under the belt, in stock.
Yep, exactly. One thing that is also adding to his stress, and it's very subtly hinted at here in this chapter, is that all of a sudden there's a lot of pretty girls at Hogwarts. All of a sudden, like, they've always been there, but this is the year where everybody's like, what? Who's she looking at me? Like, what? I mean, it's crazy.
It's just that age, right? They're, 14, 15 now, and all of a sudden girls are interesting. And
yeah, Cho just pops up as Jay when we focus in on Cho not wearing that Potter Stinks badge.
Oh, I know. Isn't that? So, I think
super sweet. I like Cho a lot.
She really has a thing for Harry and Cedric right now and doesn't really know which one to go with.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if she supports Cedric, but she doesn't wear the badge because she likes Harry too. Yeah. I think she's in a tough spot right now. Trying to figure out.
Thank goodness you weren't in that spot when it came to me, right? I mean, it's just a no-brainer.
That would have been a no-brainer.
Flannel wizard. I mean, I'm sorry. I sometimes just gotta, break away from the page for a hot second here. But I do want to mention that Cho Chang, people forget, Cho Chang kissed the chosen one. Okay,
she did.
Now people are like, well, did you just really she's also freaking awesome at spell work. I think. Did you see we did our Cho Chang How Powerful video? I think she's super powerful, and I actually have her down as being one of the most powerful students.
You did?
I think I did.
Oh,
yeah, high 7s. That's still pretty high.
Wow,
didn't I?
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, for a student.
Yeah, I got a lot of them other ones ranked a lot lower. So. Yeah.
I mean, she's part of the
students,
DA.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to rank students very high.
True.
So very few of them got into, two of them get into the 9s.
Yeah.
A handful get into the 8s, and most are in 7s or 6s. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, she also survived the battle. So
yeah, true.
The Battle of Hogwarts.
Shout out to Cho whenever we can.
Yeah.
All right? She's also in Wheel of Time, which I thought was pretty cool.
True. I forgot about that. Yeah, the actress. So. Yeah. And then we're talking about things that make matters worse for Harry. They just keep adding up because also during that time, the time frame we're talking about here, it's just like, days, weeks before the first task. Rita Skeeter's article drops. And Harry is so embarrassed she wrote flat out made up statements that he was supposed to have said in the interview when he was just going like, I don't know, yeah, guess so. What's her quill doing there? Yeah. And she just made up sentences out of that.
Yeah, she did.
But, oh, you want to say something?
Flat out lies.
Flat out lies.
Flat out lies. Well, I wanted to ask you because you're about to go into something. I'm not trying to derail you. I promise.
No, you're not.
But in German, do you guys ever say that phrase like that where you're like flat out lies or flat out like the phrase flat out?
No, it's very English.
Yeah, it's very. And I just sometimes I'm proud of you and over here grinning.
You would say komplett or total or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it? I'm proud of you, and I think our listeners are sort of like, yeah, I didn't even notice that as. Yeah, I know, guys.
I said flat up. I meant flat out. Yeah.
Did you say flat up?
No.
You said flat out.
because it says flat out made up statements, and I think my brain went flat up.
That's funny. But anyways, I just think you do a really good job. Anytime I hear
thanks.
you say that kind of stuff, I'm sort of like, I think I say that. I think I say the
Yeah,
I think I say
probably
the
pick
phrase
up a lot of phrases.
flat out.
Yeah,
like,
you do
all the time.
Yes,
And so, and I don't
Could
even
be.
you don't even notice those things, right? As a native speaker,
Yeah.
you don't even notice what you're saying or what it means or anything. But then when I hear you say it, I kind of go, wait, what? That's
Yeah, bystander
like,
could
I'm
probably
rubbing off
tell.
on her, guys.
They talk, the way they talk is pretty similar. They probably are related or something, or they, not related
Yeah.
in terms of they're very close. They could be husband and wife.
Yeah,
Could be.
could be. So
Yeah, but
anyway,
I
sorry.
wanted to give you credit because last time you said, well, Rita's just doing her job. And I give you this. In this article, you can tell Rita really is just after a good story and what sells, even though that's totally not okay and questionable. And yes, that can often be something more negative or embarrassing because scandals always sell.
Yeah.
But she's not necessarily evil trying to make the people or the person look bad, because she even points out how stunningly pretty Hermione is and that she and Harry are top students. So
Right.
I thought that was, she's not trying to hate on them in the article.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
just embarrass them flat out. It's just really what's a good story that people want to read.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing because the kids who just don't like Harry Potter and don't like Hermione Granger, they're going to see an article. I mean, any article that we saw at a high school, and then the kids are going to where someone's giving a lot of praise, and maybe they're kids who are kind of weird, or kids are like, I don't really like that person. There's a subgroup of those kids who are going to use that to mock and make fun of you. And it's just, again, know your audience, be real careful about the friend group that you're in and what influences and energies you allow to float around you, okay? Because, that I see it all the time in high school. Somebody does a great job, and then somebody's there to tear you down.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
Wow, wait a second. What's up with that? People are trying to throw some praise your way. Happens even in the adult world quite a bit too. Teachers
Oh yeah.
it's so ridiculous. So you'll see an email that's praising this teacher for something good that they do, and 15 teachers are like, yeah, but did you see how he was teaching that one lesson about blah blah? They just go. I'm like, wow, guys. I mean, can we give the guy 30 minutes here just to can we pat him on the back and move on? But as people do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're right, though, that Rita is doing her job, and she is just trying to sell.
Yep.
Harry Potter sells. Gilderoy Lockhart knew that, too.
Yes,
right?
he did.
So,
Come here, take a picture with me.
Harry.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he was so happy.
Yeah, we'll make the front page together. He knew that. Yeah.
He knew it. So, anyway, Rita knows it, and so she's doing her job, and
Yeah. But unfortunately, this article drops the exact same day where Harry and Ron served detention together. So if we remember from last chapter, they attacked, well, actually it was just Harry who attacked Malfoy, and, they attacked each other. But then both Harry and Ron got detention for defending Hermione.
Yeah.
And Harry was kind of hoping, well, we're going to be sitting there in Snape's dungeon for 2 hours this evening together. We're probably going to be friends again after that. You bond over that kind of stuff.
Right.
Remember old times when we had to serve tension together?
Yeah.
He really kind of hoped that they were going to be friends again after this. Yeah. But due to the article that just dropped and Rita depicting Harry and Hermione as being in love or a thing, which Harry does not realize that this might be the thing that ticks Ron off. He thinks Ron believes Harry wanted that huge article just about himself. His mom, Mrs. Weasley does.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't think, that Harry wants it about himself, but she believes the things that are written in the article. Yeah. Yep. So, but I think it's just Ron being like, oh, cool. Now,
more attention for Harry Potter.
More attention, and, the fact that he's Hermione's boyfriend.
Oh yeah, it crosses so many lines, lines for him. So it's we're glorifying that he's a champion. It just doubles down on his fears and his sort of his jealousy and the different things he has going on. And then also it involves the girl that he secretly has a crush on.
Right.
Because he has a crush on her right now.
I think so too.
By the end of this book,
at the Yule Ball, this is where things become very clear. He's mad at himself for not asking, not being brave enough to ask her out.
Yeah, there have been a few times where Hermione has come to check on him early in this book, and I guarantee you, There's been times where we have not seen them together. I hope we see a moment in the TV show where they're like holding hands or something.
Yeah, in Prisoner of Azkaban, they went to Hogsmeade together all the time, just the two of them.
Yep.
Because Harry wasn't able to go.
They were courting.
Yeah. Yep. I think so too.
Maybe.
Anyway, so that would have been a good trivia question. What did they have to do for detention?
Something with toads.
No.
No.
This time they had to pickle rat brains.
Okay.
For 2 hours.
Awesome.
And yes, you would think you probably want to talk to each other.
Ridiculous.
Doing that task, but
yeah.
Cold.
Wow. Thanks, Snape.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
What does he need rat brains for? Pickled.
Probably in a potion.
So really, I mean, rats are supposed to be very smart.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's a really powerful potion.
Probably, yeah. Well, yeah. Wonder what you use it in.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an interesting thing to discover.
That would be an interesting question that we don't have the answer to, and we still ask the question.
Let's just go ahead and figure that out. Why don't you go ahead and Google it real quick? No, I'm kidding. Don't. All right. No, are you really? Don't.
I was curious.
Are you serious? Wow.
No. You can keep going with the notes.
All right, cool. Let's move right along here. Now, though, let's just move right beyond the detention. They're upset. Ron doesn't want to speak to Harry and whatnot. So moving on, beyond that, though, Harry continues to spend more time with Hermione. And they spend that time in the library. And guess who else is there?
Yeah.
Victor Crummy Crumb.
What's he doing there?
He's spending a lot of time there. There's a lot of girls hiding behind bookshelves trying to get a glimpse, trying to get an autograph or whatever. It's annoying to Hermione. You brought this up, and I think maybe she just said it just to say it. She's like, he's not even
good looking.
Yeah. And I thought that was Hermione. Why would you say that?
I think sometimes you say things, when you're like,
I don't like him. He's gross. Ew. No.
Yeah, that kind
never.
of he doesn't even look good. Duh.
Oh man, now I know why Lottie's always. She's just like every day I wake up, she's like, oh, God, you're so gross. And by midday, she's like, you want to go out to breakfast with me? Like, yeah, sure. Sorry, guys, I know too much. Did you find it? The rat brain stuff?
No, but I just there's no such. I mean, nothing mentioned, but I just thought of it. What if Snape had seen Peter Pettigrew somehow and said, oh, great, a rat for my rat brain, stockings. What am I talking about?
I have no clue.
It's not stockings. That's what Snape puts in his stockings, is rat brains, because he needs them for school.
Disgusting.
Okay, what am I doing, sweetie? Help me.
You're derailing.
I'm drowning.
You're drowning in rat brains.
Your
pickled rat brains is terrible.
When you have a plethora of things in your
mind.
No, you have all the ingredients,
sweetie,
but you don't have just one. You have tons of them.
I have no
Refill
clue.
stocks, right?
You are literally on a blabberfest right now. I need you to focus. Look at the doc. Come back to the almighty doc that you create.
Forget all about Peter Pettigrew and his brain.
Holy smokes. Although I am the king of derailing this podcast, so let me derail it for us, okay? Because I can always get us back out of it. I don't know how, but I typically can. Once in a great while, I don't. Are you trying to derail me? I'm still going.
No.
Hold on a second.
No.
You're trying to. So the rat brain stuff.
Yeah.
I do think it would be ironic if he did pick up Peter Pettigrew and he would have caught him at some point, used him in some potion, and that potion was either to save Harry Potter or to save. Maybe it's part of the potion that he uses with Dumbledore in his hand, the cursed hand. That would be kind of some ironic stuff.
Crazy.
Okay, now moving on. Are you clear? Are you good?
We're clear.
All right.
We're good.
All right, cool. You just literally smacked yourself with that mic across the mouth. Yeah, you did.
Let's go to Hogsmeade.
Let's do it.
But before that, I really like this line, and I'm so glad right now that I put it in the doc, because I can't find it in the book right now.
Me too.
I love this because it's so true. We have all experienced it. We actually saw a TikTok the other day. We always reference TikToks and Reels. Yes, we scroll sometimes, okay? It's funny. We need ideas for our own little videos sometimes, okay?
Once in a while, not all night long.
But with time, how we perceive time.
Yes.
And I love the description here when she says, Harry is dreading this first task, and time suddenly goes by so fast for him. It is strange. It is a strange thing, But when you're dreading something and would give anything to slow down time, it has a disobliging habit of speeding up.
Right. That's
And
crazy.
I thought, yeah,
Crazy.
that or the opposite, or you're in the middle of something you're absolutely, you wish time would go by faster because you don't want to be here right now, or you don't want to do this thing.
And it's like,
And
hey,
nothing
screw
happens.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Crazy. You could have a time turner. Go back and, wouldn't that be nice? Just go back and enjoy.
Yeah.
Slow the time down here for a little bit.
That's why they say, we can measure time. It's something you measure, just like you measure temperature. But and there's certain laws tied to it, but it still is so individually perceived.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's now totally different. I came to school here, and breaks between classes are usually very short here compared to what I'm used to in Germany.
Yeah.
So breaks are ranging from 3 to 5 minutes here between classes to get to your next class. And as a teacher, to go to the bathroom, to maybe eat something between a class, to maybe prep to talk to another student that comes in, or maybe at the same time talking to a student who just left or who's just leaving, supposed to leave. In Germany, we had 90 minutes total, and we would have a block of 2 periods in a row.
Yeah.
That was the new model that was kind of, the new thing that came up when I almost left school.
Yeah.
But before that, we always had 45 minutes and then 10-minute break was the minimum between classes.
Okay.
And then we also had longer breaks during the day, not just one lunch break, but we had a longer 20-minute break in the morning for like breakfast. And then later our longer lunch break, which was always like a good 30, 40 minutes. So we had lots of breaks. And
nice.
You're like, okay, why are you...
What? No.
I'm just talking about time and just how it's perceived. And now I feel like, it's just normal. The 4 minutes and sometimes you can actually get stuff done.
You would just adjust. You adjust to
minutes.
You just adjust to the thing or whatever it is, and it becomes normal or grow into it's different normalities. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so time speeds up extremely for Harry, and it's already the last weekend before the first task. So it's Saturday. The task is going to be on Tuesday.
So let's go to Hogsmeade.
Yes.
And just instead of staying there and learning the summoning charm, right? Let's just
get out of the
get out
castle.
of here.
And Harry's like, yes, but I'm wearing my cloak, and I can totally understand why he wants to wear the cloak.
Yeah. Everyone's calling him out. Everyone's, it would be nice. And actually, it's kind of sad because then Hermione's like, well, now they're all looking at me. And
Yeah, true.
She kind of has to take that, on a little bit. But that's okay. She's not a Triwizard champion, and she's not, dealing with all this anxiety and extra pressure. She is in her own way, but in a smaller amount, I would say. So, but they're headed there, and so he puts the cloak on, and she wants them to go meet Ron, right, at the Three Broomsticks?
Initially.
He says absolutely not. He won't even go if that's going to be the case. But then, and it's crazy because later on she still gets him there. She still gets him close. Yeah. Within earshot, eye shot, I almost said, of they can see Ron. That's what I'm trying to say. He's in the same place. So it was it just makes me think about every time they go there, it's such a nice and happy place. It feels like everyone's just running around, checking in, getting supplies, getting some candy, getting some treats, enjoying some conversation. There's a moment where Ron and I'm probably jumping ahead or whatever, but there's a moment where Ron and his brothers and Lee Jordan right, are sitting at the table talking, and we were speculating in the car. What are they talking about? Right. Well, it's probably Cedric Diggory, and what are his odds versus everyone else, and what would it be like? What would you guys do if we were in this situation? What would the prep be like? Because I feel like people who are very much into sports and Quidditch and that kind of stuff, this is a competition, so you're going over strategy, and each of them is sort of talking through what they would do as a champion, and it's just what I don't know. I feel like a lot of guys do that, and a lot of girls too, depending on what the what's kind of going on in that in that time span. And for them, the big thing coming up is the Triwizard Tournament, so the first task, and it just felt like it'd be cool to kind of hear that conversation.
Yeah.
And to hear them break, and like Ron to be a part of it and not be thinking about Harry, even though every time they bring Harry's name up as a champion, it would take him back to like, oh yeah, that's my friend, and like this sucks, and I should probably be there.
I wonder what they think about that whole Ron ignoring Harry and thinking, because they, they believe too that Harry put the name, but they celebrate Harry for it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So for example, like if for me, if I'm looking at a football team who's going to go prepare on a Friday night, and I'm not on the coaching staff, right? But maybe I'm next to some of the coaches who are getting ready to go into it, and they're drawing up X's and O's, and you're thinking as a bystander, as somebody who's just sort of like watching the game as a fan, if you have a little bit of input, or you can encourage the champion or the player or the coach, or you give them an idea, they're going to use that idea. You know, Puffs is a really good example in that play where they're all kind of like helping Cedric train. And to be a part of his training, right? And like, hey, I wrote all this stuff down for you.
Yeah.
Here, there's a page on dragons. Go check it out, Cedric. Here you go. Ron is missing out on that opportunity right now to be side by side with the champion, helping him train. And Hermione is, and we don't really think about it. Like, I feel like his buddy Ron would have been like, this is awesome, mate. I'm your number 2, right? Like they did in the first book.
I know.
If you go down, I will complete this task for you.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's the type of conversation that they're having, and it probably hits Ron every time.
Yeah,
when
and
they
I think
Harry.
Ron is not having a good time either.
No,
he loves his brothers, but he normally doesn't hang out with them that much, especially on a weekend where you go to Hogsmeade. He misses them too.
Right.
And I wonder if he, in the corner of his eye, saw Hermione.
Oh, for sure.
Probably, and he knows that Harry's here too.
Right. Well, think about every time Lee Jordan is like Ron. So what do you think Harry's gonna do? And he's
oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it really, but like he's gonna want to be involved in it too.
Yeah.
So he's really involved in the conversation until it turns to Harry, and then he's back. He's down in the dumps.
I think so too.
So how much more exciting would that be if he could just be with his friend and mend this sort of riff between them?
Yeah.
But
Yep. Well, so we find out Harry does not speak to Ron. Like he almost wants to poke him in the back of his head, but he
I wish he would
resists.
have. That would have been kind of fun.
He resists, and they just, he and Hermione just sit down at a table in the corner, and Hermione tries to talk a little bit about spew or SPEW, but the conversation is pretty short, and then it's they both kind of go into silence, and it's so heart-wrenching for me when Harry sits there and just watches the other students from under his cloak and longing to be just one of them. And I wanted to read this because I don't know. It feels so real in that moment when you're the outcast and you feel so alone, and you're the one who has to do the hard stuff and face the danger that they all just excited to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just wants to be normal, like one of them. So it says Hermione lapsed into thoughtful silence while Harry drank his butterbeer, watching the people in the pub. All of them looked cheerful and relaxed. Ernie Macmillan and Hannah Abbott were swapping chocolate frog cards at a nearby table, both of them sporting Support Cedric Diggory badges on their cloaks. Right over by the door, he saw Jo and a large group of her Ravenclaw friends, and she wasn't wearing a Cedric badge, though. This cheered Harry up very slightly. What wouldn't he have given to be one of these people, sitting around laughing and talking with nothing to worry about but homework? He imagined how it would have felt to be here if his name had not come out of the Goblet of Fire. He wouldn't be wearing the invisibility cloak, for one thing. Ron would be sitting with him. The three of them would probably be happily imagining what deadly dangerous task the school champions would be facing on Tuesday. He would he'd have been really looking forward to it, watching them do whatever it was, cheering on Cedric with everyone else, safe in a seat at the back of the stands. And then he wondered how the other champions feeling, but
yeah, that's wild. I think that's interesting when the protagonist of our story is like wanting to be just like us.
Yes.
And they want to be just out here.
Normal dude.
Yep. Doing
and that's
our thing.
what I always think, like, appreciate it. Appreciate normal things. Like just having homework. Yeah. Worry about your homework. Isn't it good to have homework to worry about and to just I mean, just have homework to worry about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We always could. Yeah. It's basically what you're talking about is a grateful mindset. Just being grateful about the things that we do have, the life that we're living and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's we all do get caught up like Harry does. I think it's relatable because you have those moments where you're like, man, gosh, I wish I were those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys are like, man, I wish I was that guy. You know
Probably.
what
I mean, they're like, I wish I was chosen as champion and could compete. Like Fred and George might think that.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of times, you're right. We need to count our blessings and be grateful and enjoy the moment, enjoy where we're at in the position that we're in. You know, in an odd way, like being a content creator, for example, I have wanted to just sort of, I told you before we started this podcast that, or maybe I mentioned it, I'm not sure if it was to Lane or whoever, but I'm burnt out. You know, you get burnt out. I want to consume content. I want to just like watch something and do something and sort of be whatever.
Just have your one job, come home and do nothing.
And just.
But at the same time, this is what you love, and.
Oh, for sure. I would be. That would last about 2 weeks, and then I'd be like, "What? What's next? What are we doing?"
Yeah, and this also teaches us something. Maybe we need those intentional breaks from all of it for just 2 weeks, and then start over. Like, I mean. Yeah. You know, just like people who go on vacation and they take time off. Right. We sometimes, especially, I mean, everyone who has their own business or, you know, runs their own show, they probably know it's hard to take time off when it's your thing and you're your own boss.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. Then we have Hagrid and Crudy come over to their table. And Crudy knows that Harry is there. So he is the one who saw Harry, even though Harry is under the invisibility cloak. Yeah. So his eye is therefore more powerful than one of the Deathly Hallows. Yeah. Do you think that statement is true?
Yes, I think one of these days,
kind of.
I'm going to do a video on it where it's like, yes, if that is the invisibility cloak. Yeah. The Peveril brothers, one of the three Deathly Hallows, passed down through family lines, and this eye, Mad Eye Moody's enchanted eye, can see through it. What kind of magic is that? Does that mean Mad Eye? I forget about the origins of his eye. Did he get that from someone else? Did he pick that up? Did he go to Borgin and Burke's and get that, or did he get it and enchant it, or did he himself create it, or whatever? And I'm asking a lot of questions that I'm not expecting you to go look up.
No one knows.
Please do not go look them up, okay? I see you putting the book down. Stop, okay?
I'm picking it back up
okay,
again.
Thank you. Pick it back up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's something I want to look up one day and kind of go through and do like a little bit of a deep dive on. Yeah. Because he can see right through here. And he says to him, like, nice cloak, Potter. Yeah. Right? So it's really cool. It's a really neat thing. And then Dumbledore can too. Later on.
Yeah, somehow he does, yeah. And it's kind of interesting that the cloak and the eye are pretty much opposite in their function. So one hides you from everyone,
Yep.
The other one makes you see everything. Yeah. So it's almost like they're opposites, you know?
True.
And
what if that's the eye of death?
I know, it's kind of crazy.
What if Mad
or like
Eye
you know
Moody,
can see through everything.
Mad Eye
the
Moody
eye of truth
is wearing he's wearing the eye of death. One of the fourth Deathly Hallow.
Death made this after the cloak because that was the one brother who escaped him.
Yes.
So he was like, I can't have this happen again.
Right.
So he made the eye.
Dang.
I don't know. It would be good lore for the story, but I do think. It's interesting that up to this point, Voldemort had no knowledge of Harry or even James possessing the invisibility cloak, right? Like one of the Hallows. Yeah. Now, did Crudy ever get a chance to tell Voldemort about... I mean, now he knows, right? And
about the cloak.
Did he ever tell Voldemort? Because Harry... That's something that stuck out to me, too. Harry never used the cloak when he was facing Voldemort. Like, to... hide himself from Voldemort. And I think that's pretty significant because in the tale of the three Peveril brothers, the only brother who was able to escape death was the one who had the invisibility cloak. Yeah. The invisibility cloak actually defied death. But Harry never wears it when he fights Voldemort or faces Voldemort.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong, AT, wears it into the Forbidden Forest.
Right, but he takes it off before. Yeah.
But I think, you're right. He's not wearing it to like fight him with it or whatever.
Yeah.
But he, because he could have possibly.
Yeah.
But he definitely wears it to complete tasks.
True.
Just to kind of help him defeat the Dark Lord. So it's a different way to kind of go about it.
But never directly to escape his eye.
Yeah, it's all indirectly, and it's all
he could
have
have put on his invisibility cloak and fire a spell. Like, I mean, once they find out about the Hallows, they know that it just Avada Kedavra doesn't do much. I mean, Voldemort could come back, but it's kind of crazy that he never uses it. Anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Then Hagrid mutters to Harry, "Hey, meet me at midnight at my cabin. There's something important I need to show you."
Okay. Be there.
And he's never done that before. He has actually always scolded the trio for coming over too late, right?
Right.
And that's how Harry, I think, knows that it's something important.
For sure, yeah. Basically, they're not supposed to be out past dark, and especially down by Hagrid's or near the Forbidden Forest or anything.
Yeah.
So this is out of bounds. This is breaking the rules big time. So Hagrid's asking him to do that as one of his teachers. So
yes,
crazy.
True. Now he's a teacher. Yep. And Harry's he's in a pickle anyway because he needs to meet Sirius that night in the Gryffindor common room at 2 a.m. Hagrid is asking him to be there at 12, so at midnight.
Yeah.
And he thinks, oh, this could be a little close, but he thought, okay, I can always tell Hagrid, hey, I need to get back.
Right.
But also, he can't mention yet that it's because of Sirius in front of Hagrid, because Hagrid still thinks Sirius is a killer.
Yeah. Does he think that?
I don't know, but I don't think they've ever talked about it.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. There's kind of a little bit of a, not a plot hole, but I mean, we don't ever get all of this secret sort of behind the scenes conversation between Dumbledore, Hagrid, and Sirius and everybody else. We don't really get that.
We don't know how much Hagrid knows. Yeah,
and if Molly Weasley is reading like the Daily Prophet and believing what readers like Rita Skeeter is writing, then later on when he goes to say, hey, again, like Sirius is good, like it's okay, Sirius is fine. Like I think we forget sometimes that the adults don't think or know that.
True.
Really, I mean Remus does. So, but does Remus go back and tell the Weasleys? Or does he go and talk about any of that stuff or whatever? So I don't know. It's just kind of, you're right. It's an interesting one. Something to keep in mind for another
because
short in the future.
They all of a sudden talk about Sirius openly once they're in the Order.
Yeah.
Once the Order knows, they know, okay, who are Order members, and they can openly talk to them.
Right, but there's a
about
conversation
Sirius.
Before all of that. It's just like almost like we just assume.
Yeah.
I have to go back and look and see what it says in the book. But anyway, interesting. So but now we are we're headed down. We do get to see the Hungarian Horntail. Charlie Weasley's there, which is pretty cool.
I know.
And some little flirt going on. I love that Harry thinks like, he's like follow me, right? And they're like going into the forest, and he's like the way he's talking to Madame Maxine is really kind of strange.
It's so funny in the movie. Remember Harry's face that he makes in the movie when he's under the cloak and he like, follows. Ugh. Yeah, he's like, oh.
Yeah. It's like, well, just you hold on a second here. Wait till Cho asks you to go for a long walk somewhere.
No. I thought about this. So Charlie later says something about like Charlie's not happy that Hagrid brought Madame Maxime at all.
No.
He doesn't think it's cool. Hagrid's just like, okay, I'm sorry. I thought she liked it.
He's fraternizing with the enemy.
And I know. And he makes fun of him for this great date night or whatever. But I think this is Hagrid's ideal date night.
Yeah.
He's taking a beautiful half-giant lady out to see dragons. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yep.
That's how Hagrid would want to spend his date.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is everything he ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
Right. Which is wild. He literally is just dumbfounded. Like, I think they do a good job in the movie where she's like, oh, Hagrid, this is so magnificent, like, or whatever she says. I'm like, wow, they were both really into the dragons. So it's cool. Yeah. How quickly do you think she went back and told Fleur?
Oh, right away. That night.
I
think Fleur.
She woke her up,
Yeah.
probably even snuck her back there and said, look, So.
Yeah, I think so too.
No one's telling Cedric. I love, though, that he does. He later on will go tell him.
I know that he.
Because, like, who's looking out for Hagrid?
Sweet of Harry.
We're going to, like, let Cedric know or what, dude?
Yeah, it's true. None of the other, the other teachers in the headmasters
Mm-hmm.
try their best to find out for their champion and give them an advantage. No one does that for Cedric.
No.
Neither Dumbledore nor Professor Sprout.
Mm-mm.
Hagrid.
Broke the
Hagrid
rules.
could have. Yeah, he told Harry, but not Cedric. Yeah.
Broke the rules.
Anyway.
It looks like Karkaroff would have known he was going to sneak out there anyways. Madame Maxine probably would not have, but it's almost like I wonder if Dumbledore just sort of allowed it and thought maybe Harry will do the right thing. We'll test. We'll like drop a line here. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows how much Dumbledore knew or didn't know about that? But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I was trying to find the description of the dragon. That's really good because I think it's really well done in the book. I can't find it right now. I should have taken something. Okay. There's at least 30 people trying to calm the dragons down.
Yep, tons of stunning spells.
They are. They're massive. I think the descriptions are really cool of them, like how they look.
Yeah.
And Harry, of course, gets the one that's described as the most dangerous.
Yeah. The Hungarian Horntail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. They took their eggs though. Terrible.
Yeah, I know. Those are. Oh yeah. Now I know. Okay, so this is almost all of it anyway. So Harry looked up high above him and saw the eyes of the black dragon with vertical pupils like a cat's, bulging with either fear or rage. He couldn't tell which. And I thought it could be both because they're nesting mothers. They stole their eggs, their babies, and they're worried sick about,
terrible.
Their little dragon baby.
This is little like honestly, Newt Scamander would not have stood for this.
No.
And it's surprisingly,
No.
and Hagrid's just so dumbfounded to see them.
I know
think
that
if he
they're
actually,
near Hogwarts.
right.
Yeah.
I think if he really thought about it, he'd be like, well, "This is an outrage." He would be upset as well too.
Yeah.
But he's just so overwhelmed with the sight of them that he's not really thinking about what's going on here. Otherwise, he would be upset. And it happens so quickly that this is sort of what they do. Now, who took those? Because it seems like Charlie is like they wanted nesting mothers, but he doesn't quite know for what.
No, he doesn't
So
know. He says he thinks they just have to get past them.
What's interesting is that like it doesn't seem like he necessarily knows like where their eggs are.
Yeah, they put
or whatever.
They
swap them.
It says they put the eggs next to them, but are they already the false eggs?
Yeah,
the champions.
Like, did someone have this? Because Charlie didn't seem like he knew whether they were swapped or not. And I'm
because
just
he says they're counted to Hagrid, and why would Hagrid steal a fake egg?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So anyway, but someone has to kind of remove that and set them up in a situation where it's going to be maybe later that night or the next day. They explain to Charlie, "Here's what we're doing," and he's like, "What?
Like,
seriously, guys, this is going to be terribly hard to pull off and cruel." But
I know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Kind of.
So, all right, though. Dragons are a big deal. That's gonna be our first task. But time is short, as you said. Time is short, and he's got to head back up to the common room. So,
but he doesn't even look where he's going, and he accidentally runs into Karkaroff. I thought it was important to mention because Karkaroff is roaming around.
Yeah, what's he doing?
He's snooping around to find out. He doesn't want to be at a disadvantage. His champion needs to know, and he probably saw Hagrid and Madame Maxime. He's probably watching the carriage.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah, I wonder if he has his
What's going on over there?
His own Marauders map or something,
Oh, could be.
What if he threw a tracker on one of them?
Could. I mean,
do they have those? Yeah. That would be interesting to put a little tracking device on somebody.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, he also runs up to the fat lady and tries to get in. He says the password was it Bombardo or something like that. I don't even know. And then she's just like, go ahead.
Yeah,
go on
whatever.
in. Bombardo, sure.
Yeah.
She would have let anybody in.
I know, and I thought,
come on now.
After last year, what happened to you? Really?
Come on, yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get in there though, and this is where you're gonna have to take over because this is the last part of the chapter. I missed the last 2 minutes of it. So.
Okay, you did. Well, did you remember who Harry's talking to?
What was it? Bathilda Bagshot? Who was he?
Well, we wish.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if he had her just like she actually pops up and before Sirius and he's like asking her for advice on the first task. Like, I don't know what to do. There's dragons.
Yeah.
Anything in, the history of Hogwarts that could help me?
Right.
Sorry.
No, yeah, but he's sprinting upstairs, and when he enters the room, the common room, Sirius's head is already waiting in the fireplace for him, and he's not shocked because in the book, at least, he's already seen Amos Diggory do that in the Weasley's house, so
Sure.
he's like, okay, this is normal.
Yeah.
And he, like, Sirius looks much better. This is kind of cool. This is a cool detail. There's a long description about how he looks much healthier in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Much more. His hair is actually cut short, and he looks much more like in the photo that Harry has seen of him in during his parents' wedding. You know, much younger.
Mm-hmm.
All this, everything that Azkaban took from Sirius's look, he almost has it back, except for his eyes. He said he could still see something in his eyes that's lingering from, his time. Of course, it's only been a few months that he's free.
Yeah.
And Sirius, this is also kind of cool. Sirius really lets Harry pour his heart out to him without interrupting.
Yeah.
That shows great quality. And we know that Sirius doesn't have much time. He broke into some wizard's house. He doesn't know when they come back to use their fireplace. So he doesn't have much time, but he really patiently waits for Harry. He knows Harry needs to just let it all out and talk about it. And I thought that's really cool.
That's interesting that he broke into their house at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And they're not
kind of
there.
risky. Yeah, true.
Like, why wouldn't they be there, not there longer? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Like, why wouldn't they be gone
long?
overnight? Yeah. Well, I think you always think when you do something like breaking into someone's house, you always want to expect like they could come back any moment, even though you think they should be out for the night. But of course, you have to be ready for them to come back. Yeah.
Just interesting.
And Sirius in this conversation, once Harry's done, and it's like, okay, well, we can deal with the dragon. Let's talk about something else I need to tell you before we stop talking later. Karkaroff, he was a Death Eater.
Mm-hmm.
And that Harry should put his trust in Moody.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I thought about this as being kind of sad because twice Sirius tells one of his close friends to trust in someone. Peter Pettigrew back with James and now Moody with Harry. And both times it proves to be wrong, the wrong person to put your trust in, even though it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yep.
Like Peter should have never, even though it's questionable to switch to Peter last minute, but also Peter, he shouldn't have told on the Potters, and Moody should be Moody.
Yep.
So in both cases, normally Sirius should be right.
Yeah.
But in both cases, he's wrong.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
That's tough. But, yeah, I agree with you though. Yeah,
and
it's good. It's actually good advice. It's just.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yep. Sirius is really smart. He concludes correctly that there was something fishy about Moody being attacked right the day before he started his job at Hogwarts, right? And then it also was not a coincidence that Bertha Jorkins disappeared in Albania. He knows that's where Voldemort was last seen.
Yep.
This is, how can they, no one at the Ministry, and this probably takes him off. No one puts two and two together.
Yeah, they're still after
no
him.
one's doing anything. And he can't do anything because he's still the murderer that they all think is guilty of this.
Right.
So crazy. Yeah. So I just thought, wow, Sirius is, he could be so much more of an ally of a father figure if he wasn't on the run still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, before you can give advice on what to do with the dragons, and here's just a very hypothetical question. What do you think he would have told Harry what to do? It seems like, oh yeah, that's one thing you need to do. Don't do stunning spells. It's not enough for, one wizard. You need at least 15.
Yeah. I think he would have said, use your cloak, sneak into Dumbledore's office.
Yeah.
He has an American horned serpent crystal, right? Like a crystal from an American horned serpent dragon. Yeah. You can use this during the match to go completely invisible, and it even hides you from other dragons. And you'll be able to sneak right past the dragon and get that egg. I think that's what he would have said. He'd been like, yeah, we all kind of like, we've snuck around there before, and we know what Dumbledore's got in his office. And
the funny thing is, Harry uses Accio, the summoning charm, to summon his Firebolt, his broom. But he could have summoned anything else. He could have summoned his invisibility cloak. Of course, he didn't want to do that because then everybody would know he has one.
Right.
So, yeah, it'd be probably a better idea to do that tactic with the other item that makes you invisible. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he could
have summoned the real dragon egg. That would have been dangerous, though,
Yeah.
And been like, hey, it's over here.
This is the right one. Take it, please.
Yeah.
Do you think Sirius ever, he seems so confident. Do you think he's ever faced a dragon?
I don't know. I think maybe he's like a lot of people think they are like there's a task you may never actually face, like a huge adventure task or epic. Like, for example, I've only been in, well, I hate to admit this, I've been in a couple scuffles, fights.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. But not very many. And so I choose not to, and I don't want to be in them. But the few that I was in, thankfully, I was able to, so I would do what I had to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you prepare for that. You think, here's what I would do if I was in that situation. And some people are better prepared, and some people, it doesn't matter how much you can prepare. Until you're in it, you don't know what's going to go down. So
true.
That is a tough one. Yeah, but I bet you he has tried to think about a scenario where he's had to. Yeah.
What if there's something like in The Hobbit with smoke? There's one vulnerable spot that you have to hit, and with a certain spell. And
he probably had some good ideas. Yeah. He probably had some good ideas, actually.
Yeah, I think so, too. But Harry never gets to hear them.
No.
Why? Because of his best friend.
Yeah.
And not because Ron, did this on purpose. He didn't know. I think Ron really was thinking about making up with Harry because he now knows through Charlie that the first task will be, getting past a dragon, or at least dragons are involved. And I think he's worried about Harry truly now. Mm-hmm. And it starts to dawn on him that he might not have entered his name into the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think maybe his mom even wrote to him, like, telling him to keep an eye on Harry and help him as best as you can. You're his best friend.
Yeah, Charlie told me they're dragons.
Right. Charlie did not tell Mrs. Weasley. He said that.
Okay, he said that.
Or what do you mean?
Oh, okay. No, I was wondering. Maybe he.
No,
did.
yeah. Charlie actually said, "I did not tell my mom because she's already losing her kittens."
Okay. That's what you get for not reading the last 2 minutes of the chapter, guys.
Yeah. No, but I think still, like, somehow she's probably, because they are all the Weasleys are super close to Harry, and it's just so. Yeah, I think Ron really wanted to say something good here. And then because Harry snaps at him because it was absolutely the wrong moment, it goes wrong again. Just like the article dropped at the wrong day where they could have made up during their detention.
Right.
And then now Ron chose the wrong moment to check on Harry.
Yeah.
Because, but what if Ron thought he saw the empty bed? He's like, what if Harry's just wide awake, not knowing what to do about the task, and he's just going crazy? I need to talk to him.
Yeah.
Or, Ron's also probably checking on Harry because wasn't Ron the one who kind of tipped Hagrid off to tell Harry about the dragons or show him? Mm-hmm. So Ron probably thinks, well, Harry must have found out tonight, and now he's probably sleepless and can't think of anything else. So I really want to give Ron the benefit here.
Me too.
That he had really good intentions, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anything else?
No, I think you covered it. So I think that's good. Yeah, it's a grid setup here for our first task, and it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It is interesting to go back and sort of get the feels and vibes here of the weekend right before and all the training and all the different emotions and dynamics and
crazy that only 2 days before the tournament, Harry didn't know what to do yet.
Right, I know, that's wild.
He still couldn't do the summoning charm. And then probably on Sunday or Monday, Moody, I don't know, we'll see in the next chapter, Moody will give him the hint, and then he probably, for one afternoon, he just goes nuts on the summoning charm. Mm-hmm. And he finally masters it. Sometimes you go in and you try to prepare, and your whole, like, when you were practicing, it didn't go quite right yet. But then you go to perform and you're under pressure. And then actually your adrenaline makes you perform well.
Yeah.
I had that once in my gymnastics exam.
Wow.
In university. Because I do have a PE degree. In case you didn't know.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I had to do a cartwheel down the balancing beam, the beam.
Dang.
And I've never managed to do that before. And I did it the first time. I really managed to do it for the first time during the exam. And I couldn't believe it. So I just thought, wow.
Sounds terrifying.
Where did these powers come from? I had no clue, but that was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so chapter was fun. I mean, not for Harry, but now we know there's dragons. And I'm excited for the next chapter, as this will be the first task. And I'm so excited to experience it from the book. Because the first task in my mind is there's so much movie stuff in there. So I want to experience it from the book again.
Me too.
Next week. All right. I promised last time, Joan, we won't forget your owl post. You wrote us an owl and you're getting back into the podcast after your huge audiobook session, which is awesome. We love these audiobook sessions, especially in the fall now, right? I mean, that's what we did on the way back here, listening to an audiobook while you're just driving through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
the leaves changing, cold air coming in.
Pretty much every morning.
And she says, I love the idea of the YouTube page being a version of Room of Requirement, but I like the current decision as well. So, yeah, we were talking about some ideas a few weeks ago, different ideas for the YouTube. And Lottie I like that one. She said Lottie should get a little treat after editing the episodes. Thank you. I think so too.
Well, we'll put a poll up and we'll ask you guys, we'll vote on the treat each week. What do you guys think it should be? And I'll put them up there. I'll give you guys 3-4 options. And
please.
You guys can vote.
I like treats.
And then we will treat her. We'll give her a treat afterwards on Thursday.
Can I get a foot massage?
That could be one of the treats if you want. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I think everyone's going to vote for that one now. So.
Good point, Joan. Did I say Joan again? Sorry, Joan. I'll get it down.
We're going to get a t-shirt made.
I know, we should.
Yeah, we should.
So she has some thoughts about Neville and Crudy. My view is nearly everything he did at Hogwarts was to get Harry to the graveyard. Crudy, of course. The book he gave Neville had gillyweed in it, and Crudy was sure Harry would ask Neville for help. I don't remember where it is exactly, but Crudy realizes Harry has not solved the egg and hints to Cedric and later Dobby, I think, to make sure Harry has... I'm sorry.
We will be back momentarily.
I'm actually better, but a little bit of coughing is still lingering. I'm sorry. So Dobby, Cedric and later Dobby, to make sure Harry has what he needs to complete the second task. So yes, I mean, yeah, Crudy has everything kind of. I think he has an eye on the whole thing. Keeps an eye on Harry, right? Mm-hmm. And I think he's kind of shocked how Harry just isn't prepared at all for nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's 2 days before the task and this boy has not figured out how to do it. I think he's panicking himself a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of like a real teacher, a real professor.
I know.
Before a test.
Before the test, I know. You're like, oh my God, these kids don't.
They're going to fail. They're going to fail. And so he actually got a real experience there.
Yeah, true. She says, my husband recently decided to switch us from Spotify Premium to YouTube Premium, so I do appreciate the podcast being in both places. It's also fun to watch the videos when I'm not listening at work. Hey Joan. Thanks you for watching the videos. Yeah, if you didn't know, you can also watch the podcast on YouTube or listen to it, put it on the background on your TV and listen to us ramble about Harry Potter. Joan says she was also at Kent, but only an hour or so Wish we could have met through Swish, but still had a great time and glad you did too. Hope your trips and start of school year are fun and safe. Thank you so much. We wish we could have met you, Kent. I had no idea that you were there.
Yeah, it'd been cool. Yeah.
So cool.
That was a good time.
Yeah. So maybe next year.
Yeah.
Let us know if you're in the area. All right. Thank you so much for your owl. We really appreciate you guys sending us owls. We love to read them on the show. And with that, I also want to remind you that we still have our 100th episode giveaway going on. So last episode was our 100th episode. We want to celebrate that with you. And you still have until October 18th to enter. We're giving away 3 little Hedwig owls that were handmade by us, hand crocheted, as well as 1 item you can pick from our Shell Cottage store that we will have delivered to your house. You can choose any item, any color, any size. And this is how you enter. You just send us a DM on Instagram with your favorite moment from the past 100 episodes of Shell Cottage Radio. You can tell us, which episode number if you remember, but just let us know what was your favorite moment, experience with Shell Cottage Radio. And that's how you enter. That's all you have to do.
And just so you guys know, there is one of those owls was handmade by me as well. Just so you guys know.
Hey, you helped.
And actually, what I was that's a joke. But I was thinking about doing maybe just a ball of yarn that I just sort of hand weave together.
Yeah.
And I glue some eyes on the front and a little nose. Maybe I do make my own version, right? And it's this
That'd
mess.
be so cute.
And then you guys have to guess which one did I make. Be fun.
Yeah.
Which one did Ez make?
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You're very creative, actually. I think you could do it.
Oh, okay, thanks.
All right. I think this is it for this week.
All right. Well, yeah. There we go, friends. We're back at it, and it is Monday, and so the energy was there at the beginning. The energy is gone. Now it is gone.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm full of energy now.
Oh, it's great.
I think when you
tired.
lead the episode, I think you get more energy out of it than when you have to listen. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, we do appreciate you guys. So, thank you guys for tuning in this week and tuning in to as we know.
Where are we?
We're at Shell Cottage Radio 94.7 COZY. We hope that you will join us in the future. We thoroughly do enjoy meeting new positive Potter people that don't behave like babbling, bubbling bands of baboons. If you don't want to, who does?
You don't want to miss out on next week's episode.
But who does?
I don't know.
If you are someone who's yeah, I'm actually good on missing out next week. I don't know, man. I'm out on you then, okay? So, I'm sorry.
He's just kidding.
I'm kidding.
We actually...
Well, I mean, you can take a week off, but come back. If you don't want to miss out on the next episode, then be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review and follow over on social media at fleurandbill.
And if you're one of those people who truly enjoys our content, consider supporting our growing wizarding family on Patreon or Apple Premium. You will find all the links down below. Thanks so much to all our current patrons. We appreciate you to Luna and back. And on our next reread episode, we will discuss Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, chapter 34, the last chapter. Chapter 20, the first task, of course. So make sure you tune back in next time. And until then, have a great rest of your week. The flannel wizard doesn't even have energy to laugh at my jokes anymore. It's okay. Thanks for joining us in our Shell Cottage today. We know it's not much, but it's home.